Good Thursday morning to you. It's coming up on the lunch hour, and I thought I would check in and maybe offer a word of encouragement to you today at our midday devotional. I've got the Facebook feed up, monitoring to see if anybody checks in for the next 30 seconds or so and offers a greeting, and then we'll start our devotional time together. I have stationed myself in the foyer of the church today. I am behind the greeter stand. I've kind of got that cropped out a little bit, I guess, but and there may be somewhat of an echo. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull the volume up just a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit low. Get that output up some. Maybe that'll help. I'm doing my best to keep the echo from happening in here, but it's an empty foyer. And it's a lot of hard surfaces, so the voice bounces around quite a bit. I'm still pushing that volume as much as I can without it sounding bad. Keep cranking that up a little bit. Maybe we will... Did I really lose a connection? Well, let's see. All right. So, just before noon on a beautiful sunny Thursday, the last couple of days we have had the opportunity to be encouraged with reading and remembering what Scripture has to say. And then we followed that up with the idea that we should be doers of the Word, not just hearers of the Word. So the exercise of reading, of remembering what Scripture has to say, is valuable, but only in the light of going out and doing what the Word has to say for us to do. The way that we interact with our family, the way that we interact with folks in the community, the way that we treat our husband or our wife, what we do with our money and with our time, all those things fall under the idea of being a doer of the Word, not just a hearer. And so I wanted to follow up on the last couple of days and the encouragement that I have offered there. And I want to ask a question today that will both further this conversation, but also will give us a little bit of a preview for what's coming up on Sunday, for the message that we'll have. Now, this coming Sunday, we will stream our message just like we've done the past few weeks, except for Easter Sunday when we all met at the high school. But this coming, the 19th, we will stream our services both on our Facebook page and our YouTube account, and you'll be able to tune in, to log in and worship with us from wherever you are. The question that I want to ask today during this time we have together is, do you believe what God says in His Word? Do you trust Him? And when I say Him, I mean, do you trust Him in light of what He has to say in Scripture? Do you believe what God says in His Word? When I can read and I can remember, when I can be a doer of the Word and not just a hearer of the Word, then I am setting myself up. I am putting myself on a path to trust Him, to take Him at His Word, and to test that and to put it into practice in the life that's in front of me. That is the thing that I set myself up to do. When I can read, remember, and be a doer, I can trust Him. Some of your life verse will be Psalm 37:4. You know that I prefer Psalm 37:5, but we'll take both of them to keep us a little bit of perspective there. 37:4 of the Psalm says that if we delight ourselves in the Lord, He will give us the desires of our heart. Psalm 37:5 then says, if we commit our way to Him, if we trust Him, He will act. Now, He's talking about righteousness and justice in this psalm. So we want to be sure we understand what the content is, right? He's talking about righteousness and justice, but what he gives us there in Psalm 37 is especially in the first 6 or 7 verses there, is really what I would call a truth sandwich. A trust sandwich. He tells us to trust Him. He tells us to delight in Him. He tells us to commit ourselves to Him. And then he reiterates, trust Him. And that's the question today. Do I trust him? Do I take him at his word, and do I trust him? He tells us to not fret what evildoers are doing. He gives us a couple of fret nots there early on in the chapter, and then down toward verse 7 or 8, I believe. He gives us another, don't fret. That's kind of like the plate that the sandwich is on and the napkin that you lay over it to keep the bread from drying out. Don't worry about what folks who don't believe in God are doing. David had to be reminded of that many, many times, because it was easy to look at the nations around Israel and see how they were both unrighteous and unjust, and at the same time it seemed like they were just prospering hand over fist. And it was hard for him to look at that. It was hard for him not to focus on that. Folks, we live in a similar time now, where it seems like folks who are unrighteous and unjust are prospering hand over fist. And God is reminding us to keep our eyes on him. He's reminding us to look at him. We'll be reminded this weekend that we're supposed to fix our eyes on Jesus, who is the source, and he's the end result. He's the author and the finisher. He perfects our faith. Jesus is to be where we keep our focus as we go about this life, not what folks who don't believe in Jesus do. We don't worry about those things. We let God handle those kinds of things. When I'm fretting over what unbelievers do, when I'm fretting over what the unjust or the wicked, the Old Testament calls them wicked, when I fret over what they do, then I'm not trusting him. I'm not delighting in him. There's plenty to look at God about and delight in that. He is limitless. We cannot exhaust the delight that's in God if we'll just fix our eyes on who he is. Guys, that has encouraged my heart today. That's been something that has helped me refocus in a time that if you log onto social media or you look at the news, you see a lot of disappointing, discouraging things happening in the world today. But if we trust in the Lord, if we commit ourselves to him, if we fix our eyes on the one who is the author and source of our salvation and our redemption and our ultimate end goal, then we'll have plenty to delight in. We'll have plenty of reason to celebrate, because it's Jesus that we're looking at. And oh my goodness, Jesus is victorious. He is the King. He is the winner in all of this, right? So let me encourage you with that today. Trust him. He's trustworthy. Commit yourself to him. Delight in him, and fix your eyes on him. Yeah, that's going to be good for us as we carry on through the rest of this week and into the weekend. Those of you that have tuned in today, it's really good to know that we get to connect in such a way. Steve and Danny and Mello, thank y'all for taking the time to look here. Michelle and Brenda, Brother Barney, it's good that you guys get to participate in this. If you've got a favorite verse, here's what I'll finish with. If you've got a favorite verse that helps you remember to keep perspective in such a difficult time, put it here in these comments, okay? You pop up, and I see that you're watching. If you'll go ahead and now make the comment. What is a verse that helps you keep perspective in this time? Number one, son, thank you for tuning in today and giving a little bit of feedback. I appreciate that. Ash, it's good to see you. I hope the baby is sleeping and not crying right now. And Amanda, thanks for showing up here and watching these times. Miss Ellen, it's good to see you, praying for you today. Those of you who do get to see this later on, just know that I love you and that I'm praying for you, and that I hope I get to see you soon. God bless you. Have a great day.